I hope everybody's ready for what I heard on Friday. I don't know that any of us could have expected the messaging to be so clear. So that game ends, and you've got your normal parade to the post-game news conference room, but you also had an article in The Athletic with Shams and Anthony Slater that came out like 7 minutes after the buzzer sounded. And it had all of these quotes, sourced reports. Clearly, they've been working on this for weeks in preparation for the end to the Warriors season. And the messaging was all as clear as day. Here are the highlights. Draymond not going anywhere. We love the big three. Jordan Poole is probably going to be traded. Jonathan Kuminga is kind of ticked and is also probably going to be traded. Bob Myers, the ball is in his court, and we don't know what's going to happen. There's your 4 headlines, and it was just shoved in front of everyone so firmly that the future of this organization will remain the now. And I don't think that's the whole Draymond, opt in, opt out. I don't know. The messaging was clear, which is we are staying the course with the old guys. And I think their request is to get even older.
Well, or to get older. Yeah, to get older.
To get older.
To get older.
They want to get older.
They want to move on their kids into guys who can help them in their prime. You win in your prime. Some sports you can win with some young guys. You can win with an old guy here or there, but for the most part, you better have guys in the prime of their career. And you look across at the Lakers, and my big takeaway from that whole series was I went into that series thinking the Lakers are old, and I came out of that series thinking LeBron is old and the Lakers are young.
But I thought LeBron still, he looks great.
He looked fine at the end in the one game he saved himself for. But, to me, LeBron is definitely, you can see the age on LeBron. I think that's clear. But what's also clear is that the cast around him, thank you, Rob Pelinka, was all guys in their prime. They don't have any babies there. They got all guys who were NBA role players. And the Warriors had a far deeper team last year than this year. And to me, if you had said to me on opening night, guess what? Bjelica gone, Porter gone, GP2 gone. Okay, but that's okay because, man, they got these 3 young rookies between Kuminga and Moody and Wiseman. If you told me on opening night, oh, yeah, by the way, and by the time that gets time to, nut cutting time towards the end of the year, Wiseman will be gone. Kuminga essentially will be gone because he'll be at 0 factor, and Moody will just be a bit player. I would have said, that's a wrap, man. That's it. Thanks for coming. We'll all enjoy this season, but they ain't going anywhere, and they're sure as hell not winning a title, and that's the way it came down. By the end, they were too small, too thin, not enough guys in their prime, and they're going to try to rectify that by keeping guys that are no longer in their prime longer, and then just somehow reconfiguring the rest of the team around those 3 aging stars.
It's interesting because I think you're right. I think people will look at that, and there's an immediate sort of snap reaction, which I think is tucked into A, the frustration of the fact that the season just ended, and B, tucked into the fact that when aging stars don't succeed, in the moment we love to get them the hell out of town. You watch the Giants do this. They win 3 World Series. Everybody gets contracts. A few years later, everyone's like, this Buster Brandon thing is just a bunch of junk. We got to move on. We need new people. Give me new blood. Inject it in my veins. New blood, new blood. Then Buster comes back and they win 107 games, and everyone goes, I love that Buster and Brandon, they're our guys, and they've always been our guys. This is what we do. So you're tucked into an off season where you, as the fan, you're going to feel like this Steph, Klay, Dre thing, man, I think it's run its course. My lasting image is Klay Thompson. Every time he shoots, it gets further from the rim. He can't even get the ball there. He's 3 for 19. And so I'm ticked off. We need new blood. All right. Think about what you're saying right now. Do the Warriors even have a choice? They came out and said, we're sticking with the big 3. Oh, wait a minute. Those guys are getting old. You're going to get rid of the future? The guys you didn't develop? What choice do you have? Give me the option that states, yeah, I think we should just move on from Draymond Green, let him opt out, and, we'll go with Poole and Kuminga. Does that sound like a strategy to you?
No, but you yourself did. You could have made the Pooles and the Kumingas and the Moody's and the Wisemans more attractive to this point than you did. Moody was told by the coaching staff. We were all told a month ago that he can't do it, or 2 months ago, and then only to find out that they were kind of wrong. He could do it. He just wasn't getting any time.
What do you mean we were told 2 months ago that he couldn't do it?
By the fact that he was banished in DNP and never played and was in the G League and was getting no run?
He spoke to it just a few weeks ago in saying that he made the choice when he came out of Arkansas to learn in the NBA. Like, I feel like Moses, yes, I mean, he's come on this show multiple times. He said, it's frustrating, but I never heard from Moses what I've heard from Kuminga, which is, what the hell's the matter with you guys keeping me over here? I think that there's a real interesting case study on Moses, Jonathan, and Jordan, and which one of them have taken their frustrating moments and processed it in a way to say, I'm going to go inward and I'm going to get better. And which one of them have taken their frustrating moments and gone, these guys don't know what they're doing.
I think it has a lot to do with their basketball ability, as far as I think Moses is a more developed person and player than those other two guys, and I think that he's got more ability to adapt. I don't know that Kuminga and Poole can adapt. And so that's why I don't think you saw Jonathan adapt. And Poole at this point doesn't even know what he is. He really doesn't know what he is. He's a great driver who shoots 90% from the foul line, who doesn't want to drive and go to the foul line. But he does want to camp out 5 feet beyond the arc and pretend he's Steph Curry, when the numbers show he ain't Steph Curry beyond the arc. So somebody needs to get to him and say, hey, Jordan, guess what? You are Steph at the line. You're not Steph at the three-point line, but you are Steph at the free throw line. So go to the free throw line more. But that's not part of his game. He could not adapt. He could not adapt. And to me, watching him take these heat check threes and shoot one free throw a game when you're shooting 94% is a total disconnect in his brain as far as what am I actually and what do I like to do. And I think he likes to shoot deep threes, but he needs to go to the bucket.
Well, I think all of the things that you're saying are the assessment that the Warriors themselves made. Like, Jordan Poole is a bad decision maker. That, to me, that's it. I have nothing to say against Jordan's talent. Sometimes it's hard right now this year to talk about Jordan Poole without it sounding like, and you've all done it. I mean, the texts are all over my phone every time the Warriors play. You all want to wring Jordan's neck. And it's hard to talk about Jordan Poole without making it sound like you think he's awful or you hate him. I think Jordan Poole, let's never forget where he came from. This guy, his work ethic is absurd, and he turned himself from a G Leaguer into a $130 million asset on a team in the NBA. I'm never going to forget that about Jordan. I'm never going to tell you he's not insanely talented. But he doesn't know how to make decisions on the court. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, he just played horribly in the biggest moment of the year. 13 playoff games. He averaged 10 points a game on 34% shooting from the field and 25% shooting from the arc.
Doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. And by the way, get to the free throw line. I wish he would too. But we've spent a decade being frustrated that Steph doesn't get the calls. It's hard for people built like those guys, I think, to get to the free throw line a lot. They're so slight. When they get inside, they have to almost use sleight of hand. Steph is the most creative finisher I've ever watched in the history of the NBA. I will forever take from that game the other night, even though it didn't go well. That teardrop over LeBron on the backboard is just, there's one human being who can do that. That's it. But to get in there and to either be able to finish or draw fouls when you're that size is not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's basketball 5.0. But this is what Jordan Poole's homework assignment would be if I ran the team. I'd get a tape of Adrian Dantley. I'd go get a tape of Corey Maggette, two guys that I can think of that weren't even good at times, but lived at the foul line. And getting to the foul line and drawing fouls is a nuance.
It's so much bigger than him, though.
They're bigger than him.
Maggette
he's a 6'7" guy.
His shoulders dude, you know?
Okay, then go find a 6'3" guy or a 6'2" guy that lived at the foul line and go show him those films. But either way, it's a nuance, and it needs to be studied the same way you would study anybody who's trying to copy a move. He needs to figure out how to draw fouls. It's clear that he became a great foul shooter without having any idea of really how to go to the line at will.
Fouled.
How to get fouled, how to live at the line.
Well, he's decided, it appears, like so many in the NBA have, and it became a very big story in this series, is that you drive, and if your shot gets blocked, go fly into the stands and hope that the ref will blow the whistle. I mean, honestly, for all of us who were and I'm at the front of the line, I was so frustrated by the flopping in this series, the discussion Steve Curry even brought to the table when he talked to us that in the middle of the series. I can't look at Dennis Schroeder ever again. I don't ever want to watch him play basketball again. I'll never view him the same. But Jordan Poole is absolutely offender number one who's wearing a Warrior uniform as far as this thing is concerned. Like, he's a flopper. He's a flopper on defense and a poor player on that side of the ball. And on offense, I know one when I see one, because this is how I played high school basketball, because I got no hops. So if you block my shot, I'd fall because I could shoot free throws because no one was in my face. But it doesn't work in the NBA level. The athletes are too good. The refs are too smart. So I just think Jordan Poole, he's so talented, but he has not achieved the regression this year, came in between the ears. He has not figured out how to play playoff-level championship basketball. And if you ask me how to translate what the Warriors kept saying the other night, we are champions, but we are not a championship basketball team. We maxed out. They all said it over and over. What are they saying? They're saying that our young guys don't know what they're doing. You can't win that way.
But what happened to Delos and the developmental staff? What happened to, hey, we're going to develop guys at 5 o'clock and we're going to tip the thing at 7:30 and we are going to have this emphasis on development? They didn't even send Delos to Santa Cruz when they sent Wiseman down there. So I kind of wondered about the disconnect. To me, the number that jumps out the most in this series, Jordan Poole had 14 fouls and 13 field goals in the last 5 games of the series. What?
Yep.
That's right there a big portion of why you lost.
The word development comes up over and over, and I always wonder about this. Like, the Warriors didn't develop him. Well, is that on the Warriors or is that on him?
It's partially on the Warriors.
Let's not act like all players. Oh, if you just develop them, then they're good. We do this way too often, as if all draft picks work if you just spend time with them.
No, but you created minutes for Ty Jerome. You didn't have to. You created minutes for Anthony Lamb.
They're trying to win.
I know, but those guys, to me, winning, I said it at the beginning of the year with you and others. The seed didn't matter. How they were playing in April and how their rotation looked in April was what really mattered. But they could have won this thing out of any seed. Heck, the Lakers are in the conference finals out of the 7 hole?
Not true. You can't win it out of the 11 seed, and they were damn close.
Right. No, I hear you.
Honestly, how many wins away were they from not being even a part of this tournament?
But this, in my opinion, they should have, the whole goal of the regular season should have just been qualify for the playoffs while developing the young players. They prioritized qualifying over the development, and they left the development behind.
I think
we got to April, and their roster evaporated.
I think they agreed with you at the beginning of the year, and then they started out 3-7, and they're looking at each other, and they're like, "This guy James Wiseman does not know where to be when we're on defense. It's killing us. We're not going to win basketball games this way." And whether this should be a part of the conversation or not, it is. There are massive egos in the room. And I believe this is one of the reasons why your guy, Mr. Relevant, is going to be the starting quarterback this year. Because you can't look championship veterans in the locker room in the eye and tell them, hey, we're gonna pet this little puppy on the head over here and figure it out while you're trying to win a title. There's no time.
Well, I know we got to run, but all I'll say is this. It's imperative that you you hear your veterans, but you don't have to listen to your veterans. Those same veterans wanted Avery Bradley over GP2. If you had listened to them, you wouldn't have even had GP2. You would have Avery Bradley. So you got to hear your veterans, but you don't have to listen to your veterans. You know what I'm saying?
Not always. I think in the NBA, you better listen to Steph Curry. Maybe not all of them, but that's your moneymaker. That's the deal. That's your franchise. Right?
I hear you.
So do you think Rob Pelinka listens to LeBron James?
Well, I don't know. He just traded the hand-picked LeBron James trade target, Russell Westbrook, and he turned it into a lot of useful players, and now they're in the conference finals. So maybe not.